Alright guys, welcome back to another video. You can probably see that the world is waking up, especially with these files being released, with celebrities being exposed, and it's like since 2020, there's been a big energy shift happening. Even you can see the release of AI. This release of AI is not for no reason. You have to understand that nothing happens for no reason. If you have someone who's living through the physical world, only sees things for physically how they are, you have to understand that's how the elite wants you to see the world. If you're tapped in spiritually, you're going to see things from a total different perspective. It's like watching a movie. You see these big blockbuster movies that bring in billions of dollars. That's not for no reason. It's nothing to do with the money. They don't care about the money. Money's just a way to take people's soul's energy at the end of the day. With these movies, they tell you the truth. True movies, due to karmatic laws, they have to put the truth in your face because you're basically allowing it to happen. You're basically watching what they're telling you is going to happen, and you're basically seeing them either tell you the truth about the past, so they're technically not lying about the past, or they're either telling you the truth about the future. And especially the bigger the movie, the more so truth that is in that movie a lot of the time. So if you have two people, one tapped in spiritually and one who's only living through the physical world, and they're watching a movie, well, the person tapped in spiritually is going to see a total different perspective of that movie compared to the person who's living in the physical world. They tell you the truth, true movies, and they have to do this stuff. But you'll notice that all these videos that are telling the truth about the world, they're getting a lot more views, they're getting a lot more attention. Even me with my TikTok, for those of you who know me off TikTok, I blew up on TikTok kind of accidentally. You'll notice a lot of people who are in this spiritual space, they make content around spirituality and the truth to get attention or to make money off people and a money grab. I never done that. When I was working my first job, I was listening to loads of different people's perspective on the world. I was meditating, I was getting my own downloads of information, and I started making TikToks about the information that I had. And all of a sudden, one of the TikToks, it was about what was going on in the UK with the riots, and I was basically saying how it's a distraction. I was on the way home from the gym, and that shit just got 500,000 views out of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't intentionally do that shit to blow up, do you get me? This shit is just going to come naturally to you. This is why I always say with your passion or with your purpose, if you're doing something you enjoy, that's the thing you're going to be best at. You don't just do something for money at the end of the day. If you start a business, or say for what I do trading. If you start trading or you start doing something and you're only doing it focused on the money, you're going to struggle with that thing. If you're doing something that you actually enjoy doing in life, it's not going to feel like work, first of all, and second of all, money's just going to be attracted to you. That's why with the law of attraction, money's just going to be attracted to you. But the general basis of this video is just kind of speaking about what's going on in the world at the moment, because I know it can be overwhelming for a lot of people, and I know with this information, a lot of people are worried and fear-driven. Never be operated by fear. This is the one thing that they want. They want everybody operated by fear. Because when you're operated by fear, you're going to be looking outside of yourself for something to guide you. Even when you see the idea of mainstream religion, the idea of mainstream religion is for you to have faith in something other than yourself. Meanwhile, religion is a literal guidebook telling you that God is within you. But people don't like that. They don't like having that self-accountability or coming to the realization that they can literally create their own reality. Like if you're truly tapped in spiritually, you'll realize that you can create your own reality. Your perspective of the world is the world you basically create for yourself. And that's why they lie to people as well on mass scales. When they lie to people on mass scales, so you have to understand how the system works. From the age of 4 years old, they have everyone in these buildings. They have everyone in these schools. And they're teaching people ideas right from the age of 4 years old up to 18 years old. And because every single year, these ideas are implanted into our brains, and we're familiar with these ideas, we're known that these ideas are the truth. But that's not true. You're just familiar with the ideas. Just because everybody is familiar with an idea, or just because something is normalized, does not necessarily mean it's the truth. They have you as far away from the truth as possible, because the actual truth is going to sound so crazy to the average person that they'll just laugh, or they just wouldn't be, their brains wouldn't even be able to comprehend it at the end of the day. So that's why they do that stuff on mass scales. And you're probably wondering, well, Jono, like, why would they lie? Well, they would lie because if you found out the truth, you'd find out the truth about who you are. If they lie about your past, you're going to be confused about your past. If they lie about past civilizations, we're not going to be able to learn off past civilizations. If you make a mistake in your past, you're going to learn from that mistake to stop you making that same mistake in the future. But if they lie about our past, we're not going to know what technology we had, how we use frequency in ancient civilizations, and how electricity is literally in the air and the ether and all that type of stuff. We're not going to have any knowledge about that stuff. So then when we don't have knowledge from our past, they're going to create false knowledge, and they're going to, like, the systems basically want to guide you instead. And they'll do this through religion, they'll do this through mainstream news services, social media, you name it. They always need you with outside of yourself. So guys, you need to tap into yourselves. You need to trust yourself, you need to trust your intuition, you need to guide yourself, and you need to meditate often and protect your energy. Keep your energy protected at times, okay? And I get this question a lot. I get the question a lot where someone's like, John, I'm stuck in the physical world all of the time, and then I'm spiritually aware, but I get absorbed into the physical world. That's the same with me. It's the same with any spiritual individual at the end of the day, unless you're a monk. Like, say for example, when I'm in the gym, if I'm working out in the gym, I'm concentrated on listening to music, and I'm concentrated on working out a certain muscle. I'm not thinking about, like, the spiritual truth in that time, in that moment, okay? So you still have to experience what's going on in the physical world to a limit. But it's good to be aware of the truth. It's good to be aware of what's going on in the world. It's good to be aware of the truth about yourself. Because when you're aware of the truth about yourself, you're going to realize how powerful you actually are. You're going to realize how powerful your mind actually is at the end of the day. Your mind can create reality. Every single thing around you, when you look around you, every single thing around you is just simply a thought that's been brought to a reality. And a thought is actually the smallest thing in the world. They will tell you an atom is the smallest thing in the world. It's not. I think it was Minister Louis Farrakhan who broke it down, and he said, a quark is broken down into a quantum, and that's where quantum physics come from, and that's what a thought actually is. It's quantum. So it's the smallest molecule here on Earth, and you have to understand that your thoughts aren't yours. You may think your thoughts are yours, but they're not. Your thoughts are what you connect with. So your thought can come from either the physical or the spiritual realm, one or the other. So if I show you an item right now in front of me, if I show you some item, you're going to think of that item. Now, you didn't create that thought in your mind. That thought came from you looking at the item in front of you. And it's the same with this spiritual warfare that's going on. They're using frequencies and different things to basically try and hack your mind and put these low frequency negative thoughts into your mind. That's the same with social media. That's why it's an algorithm. And with social media, it's called your feed on Instagram, because you're feeding yourself with the energy that you're seeing on the screen at the end of the day. Whatever food you're eating constantly, whatever music you're listening to constantly, whatever people you're around constantly, whatever your environment you're in, all of these things impact your thoughts. You ever have a really good business idea and you're like, shit, that's a really good business idea, and you look it up and someone else has started that business idea before you? That's because they just simply connected with that thought before you connected with that thought. This is what Michael Jackson used to do. Michael Jackson used to say, he would write anytime he had an idea for a song, even if it was at 3 o'clock in the morning, he'd write down that song immediately, because he was aware that Prince could connect with that idea for that song as well. And that's why you'll hear loads of songs that sound really similar. They don't actually necessarily copy other artists all of the time. It's because they had the thought of the same rhythm as that artist. So then they make that song and it's like, oh, this artist copied that song. No, it's because they actually just connected with that similar thought frame. So when it comes to the idea of God and it comes to the idea of Satan, that's actually more so you don't have negative or positive energy, but that's whatever energy you're feeding into. If you're feeding into the godlike energy, you're going to have a much cleaner mind. You're going to have much higher frequency thoughts. If you're feeding into the Satan or the devil-like energy, you're going to be living on a lower frequency. That's where the concept of like heaven and hell kind of comes from. So heaven, head. And that's why this bit of your head here is called your temple. And it says like, oh, the temple of God. And then the bottom of your foot is called your heel. So that's where hell comes from. So it's a lower frequency. That's why like heaven and hell are actually concepts for frequencies of your soul here on earth. They can also be concepts of your soul when it's not in your body as well. So like when you pass on, but that's a total different kind of thing to get into. Because the basis of what I'm telling you in this video is it's good to be spiritually aware, especially at this time in the world, because if you're only living through the physical world, there's going to be a lot of confusion. You're going to see things that go on and you're going to be confused, and they need you in a state of confusion and they need you in a state of fear. So if they don't have you in one, they'll have you in the other. And that's for people who are living in the physical world. For people who are tapped in spiritually, they may see something that happens in the world, and because they're spiritually tapped in, they're going to kind of come to figurations or come to around. It's never going to, it may not be the 100% truth, but they'll come to the general basis of the truth of why that thing's happened and move on with their life. A war starts, something goes on with world leaders, some distraction happens. You see that distraction. Maybe you think about it for about an hour, you focus on it, you do some research, you listen to some people who are tapped in spiritually, maybe me and a couple other people who are good for spiritual knowledge. And then you're like, okay, well, that's why that happened. Let me move on with my purpose in life. Let me protect my own energy. Let me focus on myself. With the spiritual information, guys, like every single day, I'm focused on myself. I'm focused on building myself up, raising my frequency, learning new knowledge, making more money for myself, all of these different things. I'm not concentrating on this information. The best thing you can do is improve your own life, so then you can help improve others. The best way to influence people is simply to lead by example. If the thing is, people are like, oh, well, we don't judge a book by its cover, you should never judge someone. Well, the thing is, people do judge someone. People judge someone from the way they speak, the information they have, how they physically look, how much money they have. That's in the world today. So the more you improve your own life, the more people will have the willpower to kind of listen to you, the more serious people will take you at the end of the day. So guys, don't live in a state of fear. Don't live in a state of confusion with these things that are happening in the world, because they're all scripted. They're all happening for a reason. The truth is coming out, and the full truth will come out eventually. There will be a mass awakening eventually. When that's going to happen, I don't know. I'm not worried about when that's going to happen. But the point is, when this truth that's coming out in the world, they're basically panicking to make up lies or make up other reasons for why these things are happening in the world. So whatever happens in the world, the thing that the mainstream media are telling you why it's happening, that's most likely not the reason it's actually happening. There's a spiritual reason why these things are happening in the world. Okay? It's totally a spiritual battle. And for people who are like, oh, well, that's a conspiracy, or that's this. Well, science literally proves spirituality to be real. That's what quantum physics is at the end of the day. If me and you are sitting 2 meters apart, someone would say, oh, well, there's space between us. No, there's no space between us. There's energy between us. Energy is there. You just can't see the energy. That's where kind of manifestation comes into it. It's manipulating energy. That's what magic is. Magic is just a manipulation of energy. And with magic, you're just using different tools to help your belief to manipulate energy in a certain type of way. So when it comes to energy, say if you get an electric shock or someone gets electrocuted, you won't see that electricity, but you can see the person shaking and bloody collapsing in front of you. Do you get me? So that's the thing, guys. The basis of this video is protect your energy. Be aware of what's going on in the world, but don't be obsessed with it. Don't be obsessed with living in a fear-based mindset, because you have to understand that you are a soul having a human experience here on earth. You create your own reality and focus on improving your own life. If you need help, by the way, I have a VIP community with a 7-day free trial. There's multiple people making money financially free, improving their lives, improving their health. We have a personal trainer in the group. My business partner, Nathan, helps with online business. So anything you need help with, it's in that group. 7-day free trial. If you want to join for 7 days for free, you can see what you think as well. All my socials are down below. And yeah, make sure you're living on a high frequency, protecting your energy, guys. I need to be uploading on YouTube a bit more. I know people do enjoy these videos. So yeah, there should be another video over the next coming days, over the next week. But yeah, make sure to subscribe as well and like these videos, show support, because this information does need to get out there at the end of the day. I know a lot of people, say on TikTok, are making videos around a lot of spiritual information, and they're getting the word out there about what's going on in the world. And they're kind of panicking as well. You've noticed in TikTok, it's become a lot censored. I'm getting restricted nearly every time I go live on TikTok. I've had loads of videos taken down. So they are panicking. Instagram's kind of a bit better nearly for getting the truth out there as well. So yeah, guys, make sure you're looking after yourselves, and I will see you in the next video.